I wanted to talk a little bit about noise theory because
Let's talk about shamanism.
it's even better. I'd rather talk about shamanism than
Malcolm McLaren, when he was recording his album, the 1982 album, 84 album, I don't even remember what it was called. It had Buffalo Girls and Madame Butterfly. Fucking revolutionary shit, that album, man. They got a bunch of African drummers in there. They were shaman, and Malcolm McLaren asked them to play sacred beats that would change the human mind, you know. Whatever, sacred shaman beats. The engineer went into a trance, and they had to use, like, shaman boogie magic to get him out of the fucking trance. Yeah, it's really amazing that the body is basically a great big drum.
Now, you're talking about Malcolm McLaren from the Sun Ra Orchestra, right?
I'm talking about Malcolm McLaren, R.I.P., the guy who claims he invented the Sex Pistols, and the guy who claims he invented punk, but it wasn't. It was actually Vivian Westwood.
Different McLaren.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was a rock critic in New York who invented punk.
Which one? John Punk.
I'm saying Joe Punk. Yeah, totally. John Punk. John Punk.
John McPunk.
John McPunk. What he was doing was he was reviewing a Ramones concert that he had gone to see at CBGB's in 1974, and he hated it. And he called them no good 2-bit punks.
Rock and roll.
And that's where punk music was.
I think we need a new derogatory term that we can claim. Silence. Everyone's thinking. Put that on the back burner. We'll get to it.
Right. But it doesn't have to happen right.
Yeah. Yeah. 20 minutes later. Scumbags. Really bites. Scum. I don't know. I'm bad at picking names. Your body is basically a drum, and it's full of cavities. And a drum is basically something that resonates. An enclosed space, usually surrounded by skin, that resonates, surrounded by another area of space. For example, a tube with a membrane over it in a room. You hit the tube membrane, the membrane resonates that space in the tube. Your body is full of these cavities. Your heart, your lungs, your nasal cavities, your thighs, your anus, your stomach, all of these places are cavities, and they all have resonating frequencies. And if you know the resonating frequencies, and they're kind of standard, you can tune a kick drum and it will feel like it is touching your anus or it is touching your thighs. You'll notice that when they play music in a club that's been mixed right, and when that kick drum comes in, they move their legs and they move their thighs. That's because that kick drum and those bass lines are actually resonating those cavities in their bodies. At 96 decibels, we studied this in uni, at 96 dB, the human body will begin to involuntarily sync itself to sound. So if there's a beat, you'll begin to move to it whether you want to or not. You can consciously stop yourself at 96 decibels. And 96 dB ain't all that loud. Normally a gig's 110 is usually quite comfortable. And when you're doing that and you throw a big fat kick drum at them, they stomp.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I would call this a theory, but you definitely, it's something in practice.
Go to a club if you don't believe me. Actually, next time you go to a club, do yourself a favor and grab a balloon, blow it up with air, obviously, and hold it in your hands. And because what will happen is your fingers are very sensitive, and as the big sound waves coming out of the speakers hit that balloon, the balloon's going to resonate. And if you hold that balloon, you will hear a physical form of the sound, because as you hear it, you'll feel those sound waves resonating in your fingers. Deaf kids do this. Go to a deaf club, kids are there with balloons. It's phenomenal. The deaf guy told me this.
I've never, obviously.
Try it. Okay, what's going to fuck your brain up is when you're holding that thing, because your ears only hear frequencies up to around about 15,000 cycles a second. Your touch can feel tone way higher than that. So when you're listening to music, you're going to be feeling stuff that you're not hearing. This is a head fuck that I've listened to our tracks, I've listened to other tracks, and I've gone, that shit is not, I didn't put that in there. But this balloon is telling me that there are frequencies in this track that have magically appeared. And when you listen to it and feel it at the same time, the track becomes new. It's fucking wild. Try that.
I will. I
Yeah,
will.
that'll add to the whole why 2010 was the best summer of your life.
I was going to say we should take a short break to maybe you were talking about showing some of your theory in action. Obviously, I don't have a balloon here,
Yeah.
but maybe you could help our listeners sort of understand what exactly you're getting at with these sort of frequencies now.
Oh, that might be hard.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not in a club. They're not standing in front of us. You can't see their anal cavities.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, if I can't see those pursed anal lips, I can't do jack shit. Hey, I'll tell you about my joystick. We use one of these live in the Angelspit controller. What basically happens is that the sound comes in here and it gets routed here. And it can go out, it goes out these 4 outputs. It's this old school computer games joystick.
Like Gallagher or something.
Like Gallagher, yeah. Like this is a remake of the old 80s ones. They're making them again. And it can take like a zillion pounds of pressure. You know those fat guys who pump in the quarters and go crazy on the games?
Yeah.
And it's also got, look, it's got Space Invader buttons on it as well. So basically I've taken all this shit and rigged it up so that audio comes in, and depending on what I'm doing, it's getting routed out to all of these different areas. Like it might be a bit crusher or a whatever, or a vocoder. And in an attempt to do something completely different. Yeah, I have no idea what is about to happen, but we'll see.
So
Woo!
You're listening to WFKU. We're here with Zoog from Angelspit. This is Whiskey. Yeah, let's play some tunes.
Rock!
Rock.